Hello. I hope you all can hear me. Is anyone there? And if you can hear me, would you type in the chat box that you can hear me? Because while I could hear myself earlier, I can't hear myself now. Hi, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Can see and hear you. Okay, that's what I needed to know. I hope you guys are doing good today. The sun is out here in Arizona, which probably is not very shocking, except that we've had several days of gray clouds, which is unusual here. Although we appreciate it, it makes us a little cold. And in the desert, we're a little sensitive to that. So I'm very excited to see some sunshine today. Hi, guys. I see Randy and Richard and Chris, Julie, George, Shaheen. I'm so glad you guys are here. No picture, John, but you can hear me. Well, that's something. Others can see me. I wonder why that's not working. And Mark cannot hear or see me. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's try one thing here. Turn the microphone back on. Lots of rain in the UK. Yes, I would take some actually. You should see me in the summer begging for a drop of rain. Okay, John got it sorted. Message says it hasn't started yet. Press the triangle as if playing a video. I don't have a triangle. Maybe someone else has a triangle. If you see a triangle, play the triangle. Okay. Freezing cold here. Ooh, Alex, -3. If I told you that it gets to about 60 degrees Fahrenheit here, I need 2 sweaters. That'll tell you what we're used to. I cannot do snow or ice. Even though I grew up in it, I cannot do it anymore. Cannot hear or see you. Brenda can't. Richard can't. But others can see and hear me. So we'll give it a minute or two for people to show up. And now Wilmuth can see me. Okay, good. Hi, Eric. Oh, Eric from Canada. Hey, I went to, let's see, I've been to Canada once. I went to British Columbia. It was the most beautiful place I swear I'd ever seen. Butchart Gardens, I think we went to, and there's some hotel where they do tea at noon, and we just watched everyone show up. It was really cool. Okay, Galena, Kathy. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so this morning, I don't know, I've been kind of in a weird, I've approached this a little differently. So last time I did the webinar, I practiced in advance. I got everything tested the day before. Let's see, there's a reconnect button up top. Would that help? Certainly can't hurt. Go ahead and hit reconnect if you're having some issues. So I had everything tested. I was using a different laptop. I made sure it was all updated. And this morning it's kind of been like, you know what? We're going to do this webinar. I've got some things that I want to cover. And I'll turn the laptop on about 15 minutes in advance. And so I've actually been kind of racing through a few updates and making sure the stuff was working. And oh, Jackie says works for her on Chrome, but not on Internet Explorer. So check the browser that you're using if you're having some issues. For me, it works on Firefox and Chrome, but I don't use Internet Explorer, so I can't tell you what it's going to do that way. Okay, so feel free to enter questions in the sidebar. I can scroll back down to see them later, but there were a couple things that I definitely wanted to cover because they had come up in some emails from folks, just the timing of the topics. So in addition, like as I was working through some of the steps that were in the weekly emails, I had, by the way, in case you're freaking out, this will be recorded and I'll put it on YouTube. later today and then send out the link. So if you're missing anything, you'll be able to see it in the replay. Okay, so as I was working through some of the steps to create new posts for both the SteamUp site and the crochet site, I realized there were just little things that I did differently that I don't have in some of the keyword research steps. So I thought, I need to actually do the steps in front of you guys in a video, because you may pick up on some things that aren't specifically outlined in the directions. I mean, you would get to the same place, but there's little extra steps I take that I just haven't put in the written directions. And I realized it as I was trying to walk through the steps myself to make sure I found some gaps. So okay, I gotta do screen share here. And we are going to go to, I think, Firefox. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Google, the keyword planner and Google AdWords. So type in the chat box, if you would please, that you can see that. I'm going to switch back so I can check the notes, but let me know if you are seeing that I am in Google Ads. I'm not seeing anything in chat. So if I'm going to switch over here. Yep. Okay, good. So you can see it. All right. So we're going to go to Google AdWords and find new keywords. So let's say I'm looking for keywords for my crochet site. I'm just going to start with crochet. So that's the niche I'm looking at. We're just going to see what comes up. I am in the new version of the Google Ads Keyword Planner. I think everyone has been switched over at this point, so this is what you get. I'm going to click to check all. I want to check all the keywords. I'm not going to go through looking for what I do want and I don't want. I want everything. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select them all. Then I'm going to, I think they'll go, now that means they're going to be in my keywords tab on the side over here. Oops, nope, not yet. Get back to keyword ideas. Okay. So now I've seen all of them. There it is. I got to select them all. That's why I got to add them to the plan. Now, once I've added them to a plan, and it doesn't have to be any plan. I'm not really going to use this plan. I just need to get them selected so that when I come over here to the keywords tab, come on. Web page is slowing down your browser. I don't want to lose you guys and close the webinar tab. So, okay, here we go. Now, come on, show me my keywords. There we go. So now it's showing me all the keywords down here at the bottom. I can select them all. I can make sure I'm using exact match type. I'm still not seeing my download button. Where is my download button? There we go. Up here, there's a little download button. So once I've selected all the keywords, I can download them and open them in a spreadsheet. I'm not going to do that at this point because that's not the step that I want you to see. But when you are working with the AdWords tool and you put in a broad term like crochet, you only get so many results, right? I only have 784, and there are certainly more keywords than 784 that have to do with crochet. The problem is that it's so broad that I'm getting just this top layer of keywords. And what I want is to be able to dig down further. So as I'm scrolling through this list, right, I will see things like looking for a good example. Crochet. Come on, come on, come on. I'm even seeing knitting. I don't need knitting when I'm looking at crochet. Okay, let's look at this one. Afghan crochet patterns. Now, someone had a question about the fact that I can't see the whole keyword, right? I see Afghan crochet patterns ... Well, what the heck is the real keyword? You should be able to move this bar, go up to the top, move this bar over. Now I can see it's Afghan crochet patterns for beginners. Okay, that gives me an idea that there are probably a lot of keywords that just have to do with Afghan crochet patterns that I'm not seeing in this initial list of 784 keywords. So I'm going to copy that longer phrase. I'm going to go back to Keyword Ideas tab up here. I'm going to get rid of the first keyword I put in, and I want to dig into this longer keyword. And it's going to come up with the ideas here, but I'm not done yet. See this blue filter? It says show broadly related ideas, exclude adult ideas, which hopefully I would do obviously with crochet, but show broadly related. Instead, I don't want broadly related. I've already got my broad set of terms. I want to go to closely related ideas. And these are going to be closely related ideas to this longer keyword phrase I put in, Afghan crochet patterns. Now you'll see I'm getting only keywords that have to do with Afghan crochet patterns. And before, my initial list was too broad. It didn't have this deeper level of keywords in it. I can take that a step further. Now I've got baby Afghan crochet patterns. I can copy that one. I can go back up here and get rid of the Afghan crochet patterns. I can do baby Afghan crochet patterns. And again, make sure it says still in this filter, show closely related ideas. Now I'm getting even longer term. These are real long tail keywords. Simple baby Afghan crochet patterns. Free, quick, easy. Okay, the search volume is low. That's fine because we're looking for, easy to target, low competition keywords. And here we're finding these long tail phrases that did not show up when I started with crochet. So all I'm saying is this extra step that I do is I run I'm going to come back to here and stop the screen share. I will run a broad word through the Google Keyword Planner and then take and download that full list. So, I've got my first 784 keywords. Then I'm going to go through there and look for longer phrases. So I started with crochet, then it might be crochet patterns, then it might be crochet hooks, because I'm going to see some of those phrases show up in the list. And I run those back through the Keyword Planner and change the filter to look at the closely related phrases. So that way I'm getting really deep. When I'm done, I can end up with 6,000 keywords for a niche. And that's how you do it. Start broad. Like I would take crochet, run that list. In there, I'm going to see things like crochet hook. So I'm going to run crochet hook through the Keyword Planner using the broad filter first. And I'm going to download a ton of ideas. Then I'm going to go back to the Keyword Planner and I'm going to take these 2- and 3-word phrases and run them back through the planner changing the filter to the show closely related ideas. When I'm done, I'm going to have a massive list of keywords, short tail, long tail, deep into the niche, and that's how I generate that list. So Galena asked, what search volume would be acceptable? It depends on the kind of post I'm writing. but I'll go as low as, if it says 10 searches a month, I will do that. I have had posts targeting 10 to 50 searches a month, and they can be some of the most profitable posts you have because you're never, it doesn't matter what you do, your post is never really targeting just that one phrase. It's targeting related phrases. You just don't know it. You might not be writing the post that way, but Google knows that if you have said simple pink baby crochet pattern, that search also, your post would also apply to a search like easy pink baby crochet pattern, or uh, fast and easy, or pastel pink baby crochet pattern. You didn't target that keyword, but it doesn't matter. Google knows that phrase, your post could apply to a number of other phrases. So go low in the search volume. If you see that it's at least showing up in the Google AdWord Planner and you think it's a topic that relates to your niche, you can write about there's material that you could write when you're thinking about that keyword and topic, target it because it relates to your niche. It's going to have some sort of audience. It may not have a ton of people at first, but the broader, the more you write about that content or that keyword, the more phrases you're going to end up targeting in the end, and you end up adding, like 10 people for this phrase and 10 people for this phrase, and suddenly your post is getting 1,000 hits a month, and the target keyword was really only something that might have 10 searches a month. So hopefully that helps. That's just, when I dig into keywords, I can end up with thousands. In fact, I know that there are folks who say that their issue is they can't find a good keyword. My issue is I usually end up with way too many to even, I have to sort them in some way so I can cope with the number of them that I end up with. So, okay, hopefully that helps. That was one topic that I wanted us to cover. Does anyone have any questions about the keyword material, or hopefully that helps, makes sense? Okay, type in that box over there so I know. I feel like I've lost everyone. Nope, no typing. There we go. Okay, Galena helps. Okay, so next, is anyone worried about Gutenberg? So I had sent an email to everyone, not just the Freedom Fix folks, but I'd sent an email a week or two ago about the Gutenberg change. So I've rolled it out on a couple of my websites, but I have not rolled it out on the SteamUp site yet. So I've tested Gutenberg with Azon Breeze, which is the product that it's my own sort of WordPress theme, warped theme that allows me to create posts more quickly. Some of you use it, you've seen it before. Works just fine with that. It does not change, if you're worried, it does not change the way posts are handled, the custom post types. So let me, Julie says she's not worried, but she doesn't like it. Hoping it grows on you. I think it's going to. It's one of those things where, if we've been working in WordPress for how many years now, and then they make a big giant change and I just want to smack them. But first of all, you can, there's a link when you make the change, there's a link that you can click on and revert to the classic editor. And even if you don't see that link, you can revert to the classic editor. So I think if you miss that link, it doesn't show back up again very easily, but it is, yes, Galena, it's possible. You can disable Gutenberg. All you have to do, even if you update to WordPress 5.0, I'm trying to think of the name of the plugin. It's, I'm looking it up here, sorry. Classic Editor, I think it is. Classic Editor, WordPress plugin. Come on. if you install that plugin, it will restore the previous version. So let me do screen share here so you can see. Okay. Okay, this plugin, it's called Classic Editor by WordPress contributors. You know, and I'm sure they're watching this. WordPress has got to be watching this. Active installations are 1 million plus. So certainly we are not alone in having, you know, in being frustrated that we have to make this change and why are they doing this? But if you install this plugin while you have WordPress 5.0 in place, it will revert back to the classic editor. That does not mean you might not see some issues with how your site operates, because whatever plugins you have, whatever themes you have, whatever else is on your site, and we're all different. You know, WordPress 5.0 may have some incompatibilities with something you have on your site. So just back up your site before you make any change. The way I back up my sites is to use the duplicator plugin. So it just makes it easier. I mean, I used to do them manually. You can go into your hosting account. You can download your theme file or your site files out of File Manager. You can download your database in PHPMyAdmin, which I had done for years, but actually Duplicator makes it pretty easy to process. So you just create a package and save the package, and you have both pieces, both your File Manager files and your SQL database, and then you can put it back in place. So just whatever process you're using, back up your site before you make a change. And so what I thought I would do is during this seminar, or this webinar, seminar, I don't even know where that came from, I would actually convert the Steam Mop site to WordPress 5.0 and see what happens with that and Gutenberg, and you know how to check whether or not it's messed with my files here or not. So I'm going to turn off screen share for a minute here. So I'm just going to quickly look at the questions here since. Okay, so classic editor, yes, that will get you back. So you have the regular, how WordPress looked before. And you'll see it when you update to 5.0, the WordPress dashboard will show you that you have updated, that Gutenberg is now in position, and click here if you want to get out of it. It takes you to another screen, and then it tells you about the Classic Editor plugin. But if you skip past that at that point, there's no way to get back to see that note about Classic Editor again. So just keep it in mind. Bookmark that plugin if you have to, so if you get frustrated, you can switch back. All right, so let's first, I'm going to put screen share on again and walk through some things here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is in the crochet site, I have Azon Breeze installed. I have updated to WordPress 5.0. So that means I have regular posts that I can create, just like we had, you know, before. And I have my custom post types for Azon Breeze. Any of you who have Azon Breeze, you know what these are. This is another way to create posts. So when I create a post using the regular post editor, I get Gutenberg. It should come up here. Slowly, slowly. So I think it's processing a Windows update in the background. That's what I get for waiting until the last 15 minutes to make sure the laptop was going to function just fine. Come on. No. Okay, well, truly, someday. There we go. Okay, so I have Gutenberg on my regular post editor. But when I go to create an Azon Breeze custom post type, see how long this takes to come up. You'll see it's what you had before with Azon Breeze. It hasn't changed. So you still see your boxes to fill out your post detail, and it will create the post just fine. It won't change anything. So you do end up with both the new Gutenberg, and if I wanted, I could put the classic plugin in place and have the regular posts still with the classic post editor, and my custom post types still using the Azon Breeze post editor. So if you have any questions about whether or not you can upgrade while you've got Azon Breeze in place, you're fine. Again, though, just back up your sites. That's the safest move. So now we're going to go to the Steam Queen here. And I've got some updating to do. I swear I just updated these this morning. Updates come through so fast. So I'm going to update all my plugins. I'm just going to read through and make sure I don't see anything weird in here. I'm going to update all those. I get those done. In the meantime, I'll close it. I wonder if I can move. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Okay, plugins are all updated. Well, one last thing I've got to do is that I can update WordPress. But first, I want to do the backup. So this is where Duplicator plugin comes in handy. I'm going to go to Packages, and I want to create a new package. This is going to be the backup of my site. It's going to give me a name by default, and I want to change that to today's date. Is that today's date? What is that? 2018, 10/18. I'm just going to switch that to 12/18, 2018. I guess that, yeah. Okay, Steam Queen, save. So everything looks good. I'm going to hit next. It's going to scan the site, go through the files, then it's going to create a package. And it's going to make sure everything looks good. I want to make sure these are all green. I'm going to build the package. And what the package is, when you run Duplicator, in one piece, it takes all your site files in your database, and then it creates a script, a PHP file that goes with it. The two work together. You have to have both together. They're unique. They're a pair. They don't go with any other files. You can download both of those files, and then if you need to restore your site, you follow the steps. The plugin has a fax page, and you run, walk through the steps, reinstall the site, but you have to have both of those two files together, and it'll put it back just as it was when you created this package. So I'm just gonna do a one-click download. Sorry, I'm gonna get both files. I don't even know if I have I don't want to open, I want to save. This is my newer laptop, so I don't even really have, I don't know where it even saved it to, but I'll find it later. So it should save both pieces. Go, go, go. I got my archive and I've got installer. So I have both of the files saved. So I'm good. Now I'm going to go update to WordPress 5. And what I should have done here, bring up my site. Yeah, too late. I was going to make sure that I got, why do I need an additional? See, this is what happens. You don't go to do stuff on your site, and what the heck is that? Okay, see, this is why I wanted to do this live. Okay, so I'm updated to 5.0. It tells me I've got the new editor. That's Gutenberg. Building with blocks. Da 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 da. Stunning new theme. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now somewhere in here is the. There you go. Keep it classic. So here's where I could install the classic editor. But once I get away from the screen, I can't find that again. So just keep in mind, it's out there. You can just install it like a normal plugin. Okay, so now I want to bring up the site, but do I get that weird message? Okay, now, so just while I was updating, I got this weird site lock message. What's odd is I took site lock off of my sites, so I'm not sure why that message showed up. But if you see it, I think someone emailed me that they see a message like this when they go to my site. So if you see that, let me know. Okay. So meanwhile, now that it's updated, it's coming up live. I'm looking at the site just to make sure that it looks like I expect it to. Okay, my homepage looks the same. If I go to the comparison page, my table is running just fine. I can look at my reviews. Let's see if they look like they should. And they do. Seeing everything the way I expected it to look. I might refresh the page because sometimes you don't know if you're looking at a cached version. Still coming up looking like I expected to. I don't see any missing images. I don't see any, blank spots. I don't see any formatting that is out of place or missing. My bullet point symbols are still showing up. People can still do comments. What's funny is the site looks so different on this laptop than my other one. These colors aren't at all the same as I have. Very odd. Just goes to show you how different laptops, different views of things. You think you see the site one way and that everyone sees it that way, and that's really not the case. That different screens and different devices will show colors in a different way. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to caching on my WordPress dashboard, and I'm going to purge everything. So I want to make sure I am not looking at a cached version of my site. I am looking at the actual live, most recent view, so that I can make sure Gutenberg hasn't messed up the look of my posts. I'm going to pop back to the webinar screen here in case you guys are typing questions. Nope. Okay. Make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so I'll refresh again, just make sure. Everything looks good. My ratings are in place. My buttons are here. They're working. Let's make sure. Yep. Okay. So we've checked a review post. Let's check. Now that's interesting. Cleaning with Steam. That I've run into. Okay. So, thinking here. The link I clicked on was cleaning with Steam in the navigation menu. I click on it, back, and now it's fine. And I didn't click the CAPTCHA. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to have to probably contact Bluehost and find out why I would get any screen associated with SiteLock when I had them remove it. But the other thing I'm going to do, just in case, is I'm going to go to Settings, Permalinks. For whatever reason, when you make some changes, and there doesn't even seem to be a pattern, when you make some changes to WordPress, permalinks can get out of whack, even though you've not made a change to the permalink setting. And permalinks, those are the settings that control how your post and page URLs are constructed. In this case, I always use post name. I'm just going to hit the Save Changes button to leave it as post name. But sometimes just updating that will fix some weird things you see with your URLs, like clicking on a link and getting a weird URL result, or a not found page when you know it's there. Updating your permalinks can change that. So I'm just going to check my other links here. I'm not seeing that message show up again. My posts look like they should. We can go in and check one. Okay, so if you're updating to a new version of WordPress, and this is the process that I run through. I'm gonna check all my links, go through some posts. I want to make sure that nothing. Yeah, where's this purple coming from? Okay, I want to make sure nothing has suddenly stopped working and is changing the look of the site. I go to my sitemap page, make sure my sitemap is coming up. I'm going to go to my privacy policy page. Just all the, check everything. Make sure your links are going where you think they should. Okay. Thing looks good. All right. So for those of you who are using the Flex Squeeze theme, which this site is using, I'm not seeing anything out of whack on the look of the site. So then the next thing, of course, would be what would happen if I were to go in and edit a post that's already on the site. So maybe I see I will operate with 50 million tabs open. I have to watch myself. Okay. So let's go to compare. Now I got a bunch of drafts. I want to find a informational before you buy a post. Here we go. I'm going to edit it and see what happens. Oh, and definitely some questions. I'm going to come back and grab these questions after I test this piece here. Okay. So I'm going to bring up an old post, and it's going to come up in Gutenberg eventually, I think. Come on. I don't get very patient sometimes. I don't know if you can tell that. I want them up now. This is why I operate on the older laptop. Okay, come on. Nope. Well, when it comes up, should come up in Gutenberg. And the only thing I'm testing here is, what if I wanted to change a couple words in my post and I click the update button to save? Now that it's in Gutenberg versus having been originally created in the Classic Editor, will something weird happen once I update it through Gutenberg? And that's all I want to check when I get to that point. Or can I even update it at all? Maybe I can't update it because it is just not coming up. Okay, we're going to come back to that. So The microphone turned off on itself. Okay. Sheila, can you hear me? She's not here. Okay, now? I bet you can hear me now. Halfway there. It's coming. Hey. Whew. It's a lot of work. Okay. I bet I have to start all over. Audio and visual back. See, I don't know what happened. On my end, it showed just fine. But like I said, I hadn't used this is only the second time we've used this company. So we'll see. So I don't know what drives that. There's no signal on my side that would tell me that was the case. I'm looking. That's why my eyes are moving all around. Okay. Whew. All right. So we're good. Okay. I'm going to start over with the discussion we were having. If I can remember what it was. Static homepage. Okay. They don't like the webinar got Mark, you're funny. You know, when they're picking a name, I bet they never realized we'd come up with stuff like that, right? Okay. All right. So we are back. We're going to go back to the topic of the static homepage. Okay. So every site should have a static homepage, but not immediately because you don't know each other well enough. On my crochet site, like, I don't know. I just don't know what that site is gonna be yet. I just have a couple of posts. It doesn't have its personality. There's not a life there yet. I don't even have a place to point people to. So here are the things that I think a static homepage should do. It should tell people what your site is about, kind of welcome them to the site, and it should be a warmer way of directing your visitors through your site, warmer than your navigation menu. So your navigation menu has, you know, some squares or some boxes, some tabs that they can click on, and that's great. But there's no life to that either. You can't really dress that up in any way that makes it all warm and fuzzy. But your static homepage, you can do that kind of stuff. You can start to, you know, you can use that to say, hi, here's my new, you know, Christmas shopping section, and it takes them off to a bunch of rich content that you've created that has to do with, you know, or here's my section on the stuff that I've done in the past year. You know, you've got more to point them to. You just can't do that with you can do some basics with a new site, but don't feel bad if you have no static homepage yet. It just means you don't know what you want to do with that page yet. You don't have enough content and stuff. I think in a previous week's email, maybe I haven't done that with this group. I'd have to look. I know I have with my earlier coaching students. There's a site that I love because you've been able to kind of watch it morph into itself over time, and that's that. Oh no, it says the video is stopped again. I gotta stop. You know what? I'm gonna close out some of this stuff here. I think I just have too many things open. We can log out of here. Okay. Let's see. You can still hear me, but the video stopped. Okay, I'm closing some things down here. Let's see if that helps. Okay, it's all okay. Still here, but video stopped. I'm gonna try one more thing here. What the heck? All right. That will turn off as soon as I try to fix the video. Oh, weird. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. You can hear. You'll hear in a minute. Or you hear now. And I'll know in a minute. All right, we're back. Okay. Just imagine what the people who watch the replay are going to be thinking when they go through this. I don't know. Why is she talking? They can't see what you're typing. They'll only hear me going, oh, you can't hear me now. Okay. The green reconnect button seems to help. Okay, good. I don't have one though. That's my problem. Mine's always red. Galena has nothing yet. Still a blank screen. Click a reconnect button if you have one, Galena. I'm probably saying that wrong. I hope I'm not. Okay. All right. So back to the static content. So static page, you know, when you feel comfortable where you realize that maybe it's when you have more interaction with people, when you have more content added, you start to realize this is how you want people to travel through your site. I want them to see this stuff. I want them to go here. I want to make sure they don't miss this. I have a special, whatever. Then start to build that. And then, yes, it is a page you create on your site. You assign it as the home page, and you can change it over time. You know, it can be whatever you want. Your site should evolve over time. It should look different as you get comfortable with new tools and you've added more to your site and you know more about the people that are visiting your site. So, you know, start with something simple when you're ready and build it up over time. That's all you need to do. I think I've got to scroll back now because we lost all those. There's some great questions in there. I don't want to lose them. Okay, so static homepage. The next was, Erica, I'm using your theme, the child version. When adding sitemaps to Google Webmaster Tools, I not only have the normal pages sitemap and post sitemap, but also the one for single, multiple. Yes. Is that how it should be? Yes. Yeah, samples up. Okay, so a sitemap for Google, the XML sitemaps, you will have one for every post type. And so if you're running Azon Breeze, you end up with a sitemap for single posts and a sitemap for multiple product posts and a sitemap for your regular posts and a sitemap for your pages. And it looks like a big long list. Doesn't matter, because the only one page, you only have to submit one sitemap to Google, and that is the index of all of your sitemaps. So let me do, okay, you know, I'm going to do screen sharing now, so we'll see what happens. I could lose you. Who knows what's kicking off the problem? I'm sure it's something I'm doing on my end. I don't know what it is. All right, so we're going to go to the SteamMop site. Okay, and I'm bringing up my sitemap. All right, look at the URL right here in my address bar, steamqueen.com/sitemap_index.xml. This is the index of all of my other XML sitemaps that go with my site. I only need to give Google this address. That is the index sitemap. If Google has this, they will find these others because I'm telling them the index list for all of my sitemaps. So as long as you are submitting your index sitemap to Google, they'll find all the lists, no matter how many different types of sitemaps you have. If you have one for images and you have one for single product posts and one for multiple product posts and so on, so on, so on, just give them the index XML sitemap and they will find all the others. That's just fine. That's normal not a problem. Does that make sense? I'm hoping. Okay, so let's see. I think I have to go back past all the, we lost you. Okay, so that, Joe, hopefully that answers your question. Galena had asked, there were several questions about keyword research. So has the process with finding keywords changed a lot with the new Google AdWords settings? Definitely has, because the process used to be with way old Google AdWords that you could get exact search volume information from keywords. I mean, that's going back a year or more now. So you could look up a phrase and you would know roughly, exactly how many people were looking at that keyword, using that exact phrase every month. Now you get combined and range information. So if you're doing keyword research for the phrase, purple polka dotted stuffed elephant, you don't get search volume for just that phrase. It combines it with other like phrases. So you don't know if, that phrase has some search volume, but you don't know exactly how much search volume. So the process is different. And the way we select keywords is a little different, because it used to be that we could look at page rank to decide if the competition of the results on the first page of Google was, really tough or easy or whatever. And now you don't have page rank. Google hides page rank. That's now private information. So we had to look at other factors to use in weighing whether or not a keyword is too difficult to target or not. However, at the same time, Google's ranking algorithm has changed. And so I think, although it's taken us a while to see how that has come together, I think in part Google has made the changes on the AdWords side to help. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they're trying to get webmasters to focus on the right things. So we see a keyword like, purple polka dotted stuffed elephant, whatever, and we start writing about purple polka dotted stuffed elephant. And Google's current ranking algorithm is looking more at content in relation to the keyword, and how it it would solve, whatever the problem is that the person is looking for when they enter the search phrase. They're trying to get us to realize that content needs to be more natural. Certainly a segment of the internet has known that all along, and that's how they've operated. But affiliate marketers, many of us, have been guided by things we've read in the past or seen, forums that pushed more black hat methods or skirted the issue. They looked for the shortcuts. And the regular web, people were building websites without the idea that they're going to make money from them. They were just building a website because they wanted to share their passion about a topic. We're writing all naturally, doing just fine. But there's this affiliate marketing segment where, we get tied up. We get all this advice from other sources and we kind of fold in these bad habits. And I think Google has made these changes to the keyword planner to say, look, it doesn't really matter what the exact search volume is. Here are phrases and topics that people look at. Oh, now the screen is frozen. Wow, they're really throwing problems at us today. And my kids aren't even home on the internet. It's just me direct hardwired in to the fastest internet you can get here. I'm wondering if it's the system today. I'm hoping it'll be interesting to see how the recorded piece comes out. Okay. No pic, no sound. I'm going to try one more thing here. Again. You know what? I wonder if I switch to standard. It was on high def, and I changed it to standard definition. Let's see what happens. No stress, no pressure. Okay. Fixed. Okay, good. We're good. All right, let's see if maybe I need to make a note to stick to standard. Okay, so I took it off high def. We're back. We'll see if that does it again. Ray said, if you have an active AdWords campaign running, don't they still give you more volume data? Yes. Although I think even then you still have to have spent, you have to be spending so much per month to keep that level of access. But, you know, sometimes I don't think any of us liked it when they made the change to Google AdWords, but, and it certainly was projected or implied in some articles that released information about the change that it was going to make it more difficult for internet marketers. But that, I don't, you know, we'd like to assign evil intent to Google. There are certainly other things I think Google's horrible at. But it's easy for us to say, well, they did that to hurt us, when in reality, our response should probably be something like, okay, so something's changed, and how am I going to adapt? Because there are always ways to adapt. But the other thing is, if you focus more on your target audience in your niche, you wouldn't really even need keyword tools. You would just be writing because you know that audience wanted to hear about this topic. You're that in tune with them. The thing is that we sometimes pick a niche because we like the niche and we want to make money in it, but we're not an expert in it. And so we don't have that. And that's where we use tools to kind of fill in the gap. What is it our audience wants? But at some point you should get to a place where you're not having to do keyword research because you know the niche so well, you just know what you need to write about for that audience. Ultimately, I think that should be the goal for, you know, everyone, that you wouldn't be looking up keywords. You know, I just don't think that if you think of some big sites, you know, they're not creating a post only after they do keyword research. They know what people want in their niche and they just simply write about it. And the fact that their content is in line with what people in their niche want just means that it automatically matches keywords that are already out there that people are looking at in that niche. Okay, so that's that piece. Oh my gosh, we have so many comments about the poor technical stuff. I'm gonna have to test some other company, or maybe on the next webinar we'll do it as standard and see if we get less connection issues. Julie says she mentioned some other tools. Keywords Everywhere is a tool I like too, Julie, because it does give you that exact search volume. So, you know, when you do feel like, oh, I really have to know, Keywords Everywhere is a extension you can add to your browser. I use it in Chrome, and it will give you that old exact match search volume that you used to see in Google AdWords. So sometimes when you're just not sure, then it can help. Jaaxy is another good one, Jaaxy. But mostly I don't pay for keyword tools. I go straight into the Google Keyword Planner, dig up stuff, and build my, you know, giant list of 6,000 some odd keywords, and then sort through them to put them in the order that I like. Okay, what other did I miss? You know, we'll do type in more. Okay, Joe added another piece about the sitemap XML question. Samples of the ones to look at. Yep. Yes, those are okay. So Joe, I'm wondering if you guys missed my explanation on sitemaps when we were down and out. Darn, and it was so good. Answering the emailed in questions today. I didn't have emailed in questions for this one. So Brenda, if you have a question, please put it in the chat box and I will get to it. But if I do get email questions after this that are tied to the webinar, I will answer those too. Okay, Joe, you did get it. Okay, you guys got the sitemap explanation. All right, so we have covered Gutenberg. We covered keyword research. We took a look at sitemaps. What other topics do you want to cover today? I have to wait for the to bounce back out and stuff to come back in there. We'll see, because that covers my list. Brenda, you sent them on Friday. They're on my other laptop. But I'm just thinking, because I went through email. I'm down to yesterday. I was behind on email for a couple days. Now I'm down to yesterday and today. Okay, so you said broader topics. If the site is on a broader topic, then you have categories for subtopics within that niche. Should you focus on one category at a time? Excellent question. Does writing posts for only one category strengthen that topic? Is there some way other than the category name to make that section more important? Should the sites be super niche targeted? Does that not matter so much? Okay, so I think when you have a site that's going to cover a broad set of topics, yes, pick one to focus on first. So I'm trying to think of an example. Suppose I want to do home decor, a site on home decor. I mean, I could be writing about anything, right? I could be writing about bookshelves and lamp fixtures and furniture, sofas and wall art. And, you know, I could have one post about each topic just to get started. But that's very, very broad. And yes, having related posts helps your site rank better. So I could do a site about home decor, and I could have navigation menu tabs for living room and kitchen and bathroom and bedroom and whatever. That's so broad, and it would take me so much time to make each of those categories really full. What I would do is start with one room or one kind of furniture. So I might start with just coffee tables. And then my navigation menu, you know, even though my site is going to be about all home decor, I want to get started somewhere. I'm going to have my navigation menu start maybe with square coffee tables, and glass and metal and modern. And I'm just going to write about coffee tables, because later I can make all of those items I have in the navigation menu be subcategories under a main topic of living room. And I can start to add a second niche. Maybe I add in, you know, now I'm going to start writing about sofas, or now I'm going to write about chairs. When you have more posts about one very niche topic, all of those posts should do better in Google, because Google sees that you have more than one post to share with a person interested in coffee tables. So if you have a site where you have one post on a coffee table, and the next post is about a chair, and the next post is about a bathroom shower curtain, you aren't going to rank as well, because if someone looks up, you know, bathroom shower curtain, and you only have one post that features one kind of shower curtain, why would Google send them there? There's just not much else to offer that person. So what I have folks do in coaching, and they've done this, they create a site that does have that mix of posts, of one coffee table post and one shower curtain post and one whatever. But then we take a look at what Google Analytics is telling us, not Google, or the analytics report inside Google Webmaster Tools. And it will say, you're getting most of your impressions for this one post on the shower curtain. And now that's your clue. Shower curtain is maybe where that's the niche you need to focus on, because it is getting more attention. Whatever you have written is getting more attention. Now add more shower curtain posts. So that's one way you can, and so you can target very broad niches, sites that target very broad niches, but start smaller and slowly build up and add more and more to it as you go along. So, but if you don't know exactly which niche you want to start in, which tiny part of your niche you want to start in, start hitting everything. Take a look at your Google Webmaster Tools reports. It will tell you where you're getting the most traffic, and then that can be what you focus on. So, hopefully that answers that question, Brenda, and I'll take a look at your email too and add more. Web hosting options. Okay. I use only Bluehost. I have used Bluehost since like 2008 or 2009. Initially, I never had problems with them. Now, every now and then, I'll have a little problem. And if I call if I do the online chat, I get horrible service. I refuse to use their online chat. It's horrible. If I call them, their call center is actually in town where I live. And as soon as they see that I'm from the same area code, I get great service. So for me, Bluehost works really well. I've even had a couple of the people at the call center, as soon as they realize I'm here in town, one guy gave me his cell phone number so I could call if I had a problem, and the other guy gave me his email address. So I feel like, why would I leave that? These people have given me extra contact information without me having to pay for extra service. So if you live in Phoenix and you let them know that you're in the area, I don't know why, but you get good service because they're right there. And I guess maybe it's because they know I could drive right over if I was really mad and chew them out. If I wouldn't do that, but maybe that's what they think would happen. So they're extra nice. I don't know. And I use both their shared hosting and their managed WordPress. I have two different hosting accounts. I start an account out on shared hosting and move it to managed WordPress when it gets enough traffic. However, because of the coaching I do, I have logged into, I'd say, a good 15 or 20 different hosting accounts helping students through coaching programs. So I like SiteGround as an option. I'm thinking that would be my next best choice. In fact, SiteGround would probably be my first choice, and Bluehost my second. But because of the location of the call center for Bluehost, I stay with them. I always start out on shared hosting. There are plugins and ways to speed it up. Bluehost and HostGator, $6, $7, $10 a month you're paying for hosting for shared. It's really cheap, and you can still speed the site up so that you can make those goals that Google has, the 2 seconds or whatever for load times. So those are good options, I think. Ray asks, are social buttons important enough to put on some sites? Also videos. When I use them, they slow the site down. Not sure when mobile first search will be decisive in ranking. Okay, so Ray, social buttons are important when you have enough traffic to make it worthwhile. So when you're first starting out a site, there really is no reason. At this point, you are just simply clawing your way to get into Google. Just streamline it. Go for the site speed. You don't have enough traffic on a new site to worry about people, making sure people have a social button. I don't put social buttons on a site until way down the road. I have the SteamMob site doesn't even have social buttons on it, because my goal with the site isn't so much to build this big following as it is to get people over to Amazon. Now on the crochet site, where I expect people will have more questions and interact and want to come back, that would be the goal, because it's more of a hobby site. I would get those social buttons on there at some point. But as you notice, they slow your site down. So don't do it at first because there's no one on the site to use them, and you're trying to rank well in Google. That's your goal. That's your first goal, is to get rankings so that you can get the traffic. So then in the future, the social buttons might work. I just do not worry about social buttons on my site till way down the road. I don't think there's an SEO advantage to having them. Instead, having a connected social profile can help, because I do think Google looks at whether or not your site has social media connection out there as part of the ranking factor. That doesn't mean you have to put the social buttons on your site. So you could have a Pinterest profile for your site. You can, in your Pinterest settings, connect to your site, verify the connection. So you don't have to put, a whole thing on your sidebar showing your Pinterest profile or your latest pins or whatever, and still get the benefit of the SEO boost in having a social profile, if that makes sense. Alex says, don't social buttons help to spread the word about your site? Yes, if you have a following. If you're building a brand new site, there's no one there. There's no, you don't have people coming. You're just still trying to get your foot in the door. So if you are working on a new site and you put those buttons on and it slows your site down, that harms your rankings, makes it a little bit tiny, I think, bit harder for your site to rank. And you don't even have anyone to use the social buttons yet. Employ social buttons when you have an audience that can help you spread the word about your site and will want to. Otherwise, there are plenty of other things you can be doing instead of worrying about the social buttons to get more traffic to your site and get better rankings. And then when you've established enough authority that having the social buttons will help, I think that's going to counter any disadvantage in the site speed from those buttons, because your authority status is going to overrule that. So think about even the Wired. Are they still called the Wired? The Wired? Or did they sell? Sweet Home. The Sweet Home, I think, sold to, I forget, New York Magazine newspaper or something like that. There was Wirecutter, that's what it is. Wirecutter and the Sweet Home, owned by the same guy, built fairly quickly, lots of money behind them, tons of pages filled with affiliate links. Okay, we know Google looks at the number of affiliate links in a post in their ranking algorithm, and yet these sites could get away with a ton of affiliate links in their posts. And the reason is they had a lot of content to outweigh the number of links they had, but also they had huge authority that they had established. That authority can outweigh some of those other things. If you're running a small new site that you're just building, you don't have that yet. Fight for the authority. It can outweigh. You can put as many social buttons as you want to on your site, or other things that will slow it down, won't hold you back as much, because your authority status will carry some weight. Okay, Alex says got okay. Joe, if you wanted to delete a post on one site and then add it to another, how long would you wait? Would you have to wait till the post was de-indexed? I would wait until the post was de-indexed, but you could push along the de-indexing. In Google Webmaster Tools, there is a place where you can request a URL be removed for your site. And then that should push along. You can double check in Google that it's been de-indexed and then add it to your site. I'm trying to think if you have to wait. You want it to be the only copy of the content. So you want it on your other site. So I would probably wait till it was de-indexed so that there wasn't the overlap between the two. But you can push along the de-indexing with some of the controls in Google Webmaster Tools. Okay. How do you use your keywords to find Amazon products to promote? So keywords, they usually tell me what it is. I'm digging for long tail, uh, descriptive keywords like, I might find a keyword related to my niche like large crochet hook, large purple crochet hook or something. Well, then that tells me what products to promote. I'm looking for a large purple crochet hook. So if your keyword does it, make it really easy to pick the products on Amazon, then you haven't picked a long enough keyword. So, like, I would never target purple cushions because it could mean so many different things. It could mean large purple cushions or floor cushions or purple cushions with flowers on them or rectangular purple cushions. But I, if you go for a keyword like rectangular purple and white sofa cushion, you know exactly what to go look for on Amazon and they do it. If you're saying the opposite, like you have found a product on Amazon you want to promote, now you need to know the keyword to go with it, then I would take let's say you're looking at a purple and white pillow. I would go to the Google Keyword Planner, put in purple and white pillow, and dig through what comes up until I found one that was a good match for that pillow. Although when I'm doing single product posts, I don't even do any keyword research. I would look at the one product. I come up with my own name, my own descriptive name for it. I don't give it a brand name, but like I would describe it in my own words, not using the Amazon product name for it because that's already going to be ranking well. I'm going to come up with my own phrase for it. And that's the title I'll use. I'll skip keyword research if I'm doing single product posts. They're so quick you can just whip them out for one product. It's not worth doing that extra keyword research. Okay. Ray says use Google Suggest for longer tail and use the exact suggestion as the post title. Yes, that's a good way to go. 100 post mark. I think you mentioned in one of your trainings we should shoot for 100 posts. Yes. Finds its way into Google and traffic starts to kick in. I know that is probably arbitrary, but what is it about 100? It's just a round number, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. You will most likely, if you're following the steps correctly, you'll start to see posts rank within a couple of days. And the crochet site only has a couple of posts on it, but the post titles, if you do a search for them, are on the first and second page of Google, and the site only has 2 posts. But the more content you have, and 100 is a good number because I want you to see it. You can't just do 30 posts and make a bunch of money. You want more than that, but you also want to, you need to learn from the work that you've done already. So the more posts you create, the more data you get in Google Webmaster Tools. That data helps you decide better how to target your site. Where are you doing well? Where are you seeing more traffic and more interest? Maybe that tells you where to specialize for a while to help build up traffic around one sub niche of your site's focus. And then so you learn more, then you can build more, and then it keeps you going regularly. If 70 posts just doesn't sound as good as 100, but what I'm trying to tell you is the more that you have, the more traffic overall you'll see, the longer your site will last. If you can get to 100 posts on your site, you'll also find that every new post you publish gets to the first page of Google way more quickly than a month before, or 2 months before, or 3 months before. So you will definitely start to see things pick up more. You just can't build a small site and expect a ton. You want a good number. Ray, any traffic to the crochet site yet? No, other than you guys looking at it. So it was a good thing that we had split out in Google Analytics the different report metrics. So we have a US version, we have a mobile version, we have desktop. I have to be careful when I go in and look at the reports now because I'm sending you guys to these sites to see examples. So I'm looking only at Google search, not Google search, but all search traffic only and not direct traffic. I have to distinguish between the two. So it would look like there was a lot of traffic on the site right now, but it's all you guys looking at it. No buying traffic at this point. Okay. Blue away. Okay. So, all right. Did I miss any in here? Do you suppose? How do you use? Oh, we did that. Social button. Yep. Okay. We can't find this. Okay. So, I think, unless you have another question in there, we've got almost an hour and a half, minus 20 minutes on and on of technical challenges. But I think we covered a lot. I think we covered a lot, even more than I expected today. And so I'm pleased with that. I hope you guys are too. But certainly, if there was other material that you wanted answered, send me your emails over. And yes, Ray mentioned the additional extension. I'm just having way too much fun with this course. And as antsy as I was about doing the webinar piece, I actually think it's probably my most fun part of the course, even though the rest of it is exciting. So I thought, why would we want to end? I kind of like this. It's pushing me to make sure I stay on track and do more. So I'm glad you guys signed up. Thank you. And so email me if you have questions that we should have covered today, didn't get to. I should be caught up on my email by tomorrow morning. And sign up for the extended course if you haven't already. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day, as well as an exciting holiday, wonderful holiday, because I don't think I'll talk to you guys by webinar until after Christmas, if you celebrate it, and New Year's or whatever other end of year holidays that you could enjoy. So, how do you spell mastermind? But just the way you spelled it, right? You did good. Now you're gonna make me choke. Okay. So yes, Merry Christmas to you all. Happy New Year to you all. Feliz Navidad. I don't know other languages. Any other holiday. I hope you guys all have a wonderful end of year. And we will talk, at least by email, very soon because we have another email coming out this week. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day.